This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow Manchild, Johnny Karlic.
It's existed pain to me, 6-wee!
It's funny that you do that, because apparently there was a new Rick and Morty trailer that came out just to give us a little bit more hype for Season 4, that we will eventually talk about Rick and Morty again, when there's just not...
starts.
A little bit before that, because there's some stuff that we got to talk about, the whole Elon Musk stuff. We haven't even talked about him potentially, if I can speak English, being in the season.
It's okay, I didn't say existence right.
But we got a ton of stuff. Like, there's news coming out left and right. Like, today, we have two stories that are, like, fresh off the news docket that are relevant. One that's a trailer. We're going to look at, there's some MCU rumors about Hawkeye that are not really good that we're going to kind of dive into today. Then the second thing we're going to talk about is Star Wars. Final trailer came out last Monday, the day after we recorded last week. So obviously we're doing a week late reaction to it. It's the final one. There's not going to be any more coming out until December when we all see the movie. Mm-hmm. And then last thing we're going to talk about is we are less than 7 days away from BlizzCon, and there are leaks that we could be getting Diablo 4 and, more importantly to me and Johnny, Overwatch 2, or I should have said to Johnny and I, Overwatch 2. We're going to take a look at that, and will we see an Overwatch 2? Will we see a Diablo? And plus, there's some things I want to talk to Johnny about Overwatch 2. But before we get into everything, make sure to check out patreon.com/MostValuablePodcast. That is where you help support the channel. $1 tier. You can join us and the MVP Patreon family on our Discord server. 24/7 access to us and the patrons. It's a nice, lively conversation each and every day with our family that we're growing here. $5 tier, you get to suggest and kind of ask, I shouldn't say suggest, you ask questions to the podcast, and we're going to add in some questions on these podcasts and make that their own segments or lead them into segments that we're going to talk about. And then the $10 tier, you guys get to come on a podcast and talk about whatever it is you would like to talk about. So if that interests you and you can help support us, make sure to go down to patreon.com/MostValuablePodcast. Link is in the description. But Johnny, let's start with this first news story that we've got today. And I usually don't say news story, but this is a news story because there are rumors out there that Marvel and Disney are thinking about replacing Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. And this is big because, not just because of what we're coming off the heels of the Infinity Saga, but Hawkeye's got a Disney Plus series that's going to start filming soon. I think they're aiming for December. Yeah, they're aiming, bow and arrow. They're aiming for this December or next. It's either the end of this year or next year that they're looking to start that production because that series is coming out soon. However, there are two reports saying and some fans are even calling for Jeremy Renner to be replaced as Hawkeye. The first one comes from TMZ via CBR, and it says here, according to a report by TMZ, Renner is facing startling accusations by his ex-wife, who accuses him of threatening to kill her. In the court documents obtained by the source, his ex-wife claims that the Marvel actor snuck a gun? No. S-T-U-C-K. Snuck? Is that snuck?
S-T-U-C-K?
Yeah.
That's stuck.
Stuck a gun?
Stuck a gun.
Stuck a gun in his mouth and shot the firearm into the ceiling while their kid was in the same room. She continues by saying that Renner uses cocaine, which remedies him, or he leaves the bathroom, or leaves the remnants on the counter where the child, Ava, can reach it. His ex-wife filed a request for sole legal and physical custody of Ava prior to this new round of appeal. In this setup, Renner is allowed to visit Ava, but it will be under supervision. And then the second thing is the second article we have from CBR.com, which is that second part, which is apparently ex-wife saying, hey, he's using cocaine. We've got this drug use from him. Daughter I haven't mentioned is only 6 years old. So with all of this, also I didn't even mention that some of the tweets in Screen Rant in their article, two of the tweets that they reference, and I will read them off for you. One of them said, y'all swapped Terrence Howard for Don Cheadle on some they all look alike business, so I see no issue in chucking Renner the deuce, hiring Charlie Hunnam, and saying not a damn thing about it. The second one is, now would be the perfect time to make Hawkeye #deaf in the MCU like he is in the comics. Get a deaf actor like, and he throws out, I think it's Niall DeMarco, to play Hawkeye and let him work with Hawkeye Kate Bishop. It would be amazing. So, Johnny, with all this unpacked, I want to ask you, should Marvel and Disney replace Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye? Or is there just, hey, this is a lot of accusations and we don't have a lot of proof here to make that call?
I'd say right now it's just a lot of accusations because there's nothing like set in stone. Yeah, you got her saying her side of it, but you never know what the case is until it's until like it's not accusations, until it's like a verdict. Blah blah blah. I say unless he's like going to rehab because the cocaine thing is true or whatever, then then I could see Disney saying, hey. Or like, let's say the accusations find out they are true. And I can see Disney going, hey, let's replace him because we don't want to be tied in with that. I get it because they're thinking from a business standpoint. They're thinking he's going to bring down the watch value of all these things because there's going to be people that say, well, he's like this. I'm not going to fucking watch anything he's in now.
Yeah, and I mean, plus, for Hawkeye doesn't really affect this. Like they're launching this in 2 weeks time.
Yeah,
November 12th is when Disney
It's not going to hurt
launches.
the launch, but it's going to hurt like the watch.
Could it though? Could it hurt the launch of someone goes, I know Hawkeye's not out right now, but like, I can't support a company that would keep him on.
That's true.
The era that we live in is, and I don't want to say this as like I'm writing off like, oh, all this is lies, but like we live in a culture that, it's in an article, it must be true.
Yeah,
like,
no, you're right.
Here's the head. Like, I'd be surprised if some people even read the article. If they just saw
the headline.
The headline says, Jeremy Renner allegedly threatens to kill ex-wife, and people just run with it. Oh, he threatened to kill his ex-wife.
They don't even read the allegedly part.
Exactly. Like, they disregard the allegedly
which is weird because
part.
I follow him on I can't remember if it's Instagram or Twitter. It says a completely different story, and it's like it's not just like the fake accounts because there's videos of him, filmed by him,
talking about this.
Not that like I haven't watched in like a week maybe, but like he was out helping build houses. He was out doing other stuff. It's like none of this screams I do cocaine at home and put a gun in someone's mouth. Was it his or his wife's?
So, from what it says here,
misconstruing in the...
She claimed that the Marvel actor stuck a gun in his mouth and shot the firearm into the ceiling while their kid was in the same room. That's what it says. And then continues to say that he uses cocaine, which remnants he leaves on the bathroom counter where the daughter could reach
Here's where I'm going to go with it. These are accusations right now. Until it's proven, or basically until it's proven, I say leave him as Hawkeye. I like him as Hawkeye. I like him as the actor. And kind of it's his home life versus his career. Like everyone else in the world, I don't want my work life melding in with my career. And I get where they come from. In a business standpoint, it's like that kind, in his line of business, that kind of meshes because it's like, well, you got a personal image to keep up.
It's also the day of age we live in. Like, if you are a public figure, which Marvel actor, you're a public figure. Any actor or actress is considered a public figure. Your life and your work life
are
meshed, and your non-work life is under the microscope. And we live in. I was talking about this to my parents, and more of a conversation with my dad, where We weren't even talking about this exactly, but I had mentioned, like, we live in the Twitter mob age where once the Twitter mob calls the pitchforks and calls for you, it's almost like a death sentence. Look at what we had with James Gunn. The Twitter mob came, Disney crumbled, and then DC jumped on it. And look, a couple months later, James Gunn's going to be back for Guardians 3. So same company even here, where it's like, I know these are two different things. And if these accusations are true, then it's very different than the joke that James Gunn made, because his was a joke, compared to having a firearm in front of a 6-year-old who you're threatening to kill your wife.
I think he was threatening to kill himself at that point then.
Well,
from what you're reading, it sounds like he threatened to kill himself.
That's what that's the thing that also doesn't click. Why would you stick the gun in your mouth if if I said, "Hey Johnny, I'm going to fucking kill you." Why would I stick the gun in my mouth?
Exactly.
I would stick the gun in your mouth. Like that, it doesn't click.
Exactly.
But I mean, the thing too is Disney, they've already dealt with this before. Could there be a situation? I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't thought about this. Hey, think about it. If we axe him as Hawkeye, another company could pick him up, because if I'm DC, if I'm any of these other companies that are trying to compete with Marvel and Disney, if he can fit a role for my company, I'm going to fucking bring him on. Like, look at DC jumped at it without even questioning how it would look to the Twitter mob. They said, boom, we're going to bring him on for Suicide Squad. Yeah. And now everyone's hyped for Suicide
who
Squad.
Cares?
Looks amazing.
They're like, who cares about what they did he did 10 years ago?
Yeah. This is a little different. Like, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
I want to make sure for people listening and watching that I'm not making it a 1v1, because that is true. 10 years ago, this was about a week ago. Yeah. That, I mean, what they said. So, and it's also his wife filed for divorce in 2014. So apparently here, marrying the Canadian actor and model in 2014 in secret, the pair's marriage didn't last long, as they split only a year later. So 2015 they split due to irreconcilable, I can't read, differences. They share one kid, however, 6-year-old Ava, who makes occasional appearances in Renner's social media posts. Now the young girl is also in the middle of a custody battle, and details of the latest filings of the ex-wife's version makes its way online. Here's the other way I wanted to throw this out, though, is the first tweet I read off in the Screen Rant article, where I'll read it one more time. Y'all swapped Terrence Howard for Don Cheadle on some they all look alike business, so I see no issue in chucking Renner the deuce, hiring someone else, and saying not a damn thing about it. Is there, I saw that and my first thought was, yeah, completely different situations. What's your mindset? That was your phone. Your phone.
That's your phone.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, that's your phone, sir. My phone doesn't do that.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna fucking leave this in. This is how the sausage gets made. So, what did I say?
You blame me.
What did I say that my phone could have said? Hey Siri.
I don't know.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again. I'm just so used to a noise going off in the podcast.
It's me.
And it being you.
Yeah.
This
no,
time
that was
it's
you.
me,
I don't have Siri.
And it derailed the podcast more than it usually does. So
I'm gonna throw something out that Terrence Howard, Don Cheadle thing. It wasn't because of that. It's because of contract differences.
Terrence Howard wanted more money.
He wanted more money. They're like, no, we ain't going to give you more money. It's not they look close enough. Because if you want to make that argument, okay, so I guess, I always forget his name.
Who else got replaced in the? Oh yeah,
Bruce Banner.
Right.
We did
it was Edward Norton.
Edward Norton for
Mark Ruffalo.
Okay, so I guess they look the same too. You want to make that argument?
I'm trying to think who else got replaced.
No, it's all about the money.
Red Skull got replaced.
Yeah, that may have been. I wonder if that was a.
Hugo Weaving didn't want to come back.
Exactly. So there you go. But still, it's just like there's reasons they switch him out. It's not just because a look-alike thing. It's like they. I think the Terrence Howard was the whole money, and he did not get along with Robert Downey Jr.
Well, and let's put it this way too, and this is something I want to throw out there. A, different point in the MCU timeline.
Yeah.
Where the MCU wasn't the MCU back then.
Yeah.
Back then, because Terrence Howard was in Iron Man 1, they didn't know if this was going to be as successful as it was. Number 2, I'm going to be completely honest. After, let's see, Don Cheadle made his first appearance in Iron Man 2, right?
Yep.
That would make sense, Ricky. You know, Iron Man 2, the next Iron Man movie. So Iron Man was, what, 2008?
Yes.
As we've said here before on the podcast. Mm-hmm. That means that, oh, no, I didn't want this. I wanted them in order. Yeah, so 2 years later was Iron Man 2, 2010. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm trying to think if, what, Thor and Hulk? Yeah, no, Thor was after Iron Man 2. It was only Hulk. So it was Iron Man, Hulk, and then Iron Man 2. It was so early in MCU's timeline overall, and let's be honest, the Hulk movie, I don't remember getting that much of a, like, spark. Mm-mm. Like, that's why on most of our lists, it's towards the bottom with Thor the Dark World, as some of the, like, when we're ranking the best MCU movies. But, like, I get where people are upset because with this, it also comes in, it's a racial thing too, where people think like, oh, you can just interchange Don Cheadle and Terrence Howard and no one cares. No, it had nothing to do with that. It was, we didn't know how successful this was going to be, so they didn't want to overpay for Terrence Howard, and it was all contractual. And also the importance of the War Machine character. Yeah. The Rhodey character, because you could have changed Rhodey back then, and it's like Rhodey's enough of a side character to where no one really cared. But Hawkeye's a main piece, and I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying they can't replace. So anyone who's like, oh, well, Ricky, what if the accusations are true? If they're true, and they were like, we're going to get rid of Jeremy Renner, go ahead. I understand. Because threatening to kill someone and having a firearm in the same room as a 6-year-old girl is not ideal, and that's not what Disney wants for their company. But I just don't think, when I see a tweet like that, I don't think the whole situation is a 1v1. Just like our James Gunn to Jeremy Renner isn't a 1v1.
Yeah, so I agree with that, because, I mean, there's so many reasons that tweet is just, to me, it's nonsense. Yeah. Because for that specific situation, they didn't want to pay him more money because the MCU was too new. Mm-hmm. They found someone else that would also got along with their main actor, got along better, because that's kind of what you want. You want them to work together. They want them to work nicely.
Chemistry is super fucking important.
Exactly, especially in that business. Like, if you guys aren't getting along, then you're not going to have the chemistry you want. And it's just, like we said, it's just, it had nothing to do with race. Because, like, there's two, you brought up one situation, I brought up one. They replaced the Hulk. The reason they got rid of Edward Norton.
For Mark Ruffalo.
For Mark Ruffalo was money. I don't know why I keep forgetting their names. It's weird.
Usually it's okay. I'm here to catch you.
Usually I'm pretty good with this.
I'm here to
except for Edward Norton. I always forget his name. It was a lot of money, and I think it was a part of how he was acting on set with other actors.
Yeah, and I mean, chemistry is going to be huge.
It is, but it's not just a race. For one, I want to say it's not just a race thing. It's not just swap them out because they look alike. No. Yeah. It's because contracts and other stuff. There's a shit ton of stuff. Read into it before you just make comments, basically. And as for Jeremy Renner, if the accusations are true, if he has to go to rehab or something like that, if again that means if the accusations are true,
get yourself right first.
Then I can see them replacing him as Hawkeye. If all the accusations are true, I see them replacing him. If it's just a cocaine thing that's true, and he has to go to rehab, I see replacing him. But right now they're just accusations.
Yeah. And I mean,
keep him as Hawkeye until you know this shit's true.
And this is all going to come to a head soon, because I believe one of the articles said that the custody hearing is November 7th, which is like a week from now. So, I mean, or like maybe a week and a half from now. Like, it's going to come out sooner rather than later what really happened. Yeah. But the thing I just want to, because there's one other Hawkeye news I want to shoehorn into this that doesn't have anything to do with Jeremy Renner. My last note on it, when I first heard, before I read the article, when it was like, oh, he threatened to kill the ex-wife, I almost thought about what it was DeMarcus Cousins on the NBA side of things. Had something similar. Custody battle with his... I don't think it was his wife, I think it was a girlfriend / baby mama type situation, where they were on the phone arguing over like visitation or something, and he just made a comment where it was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like one of those things.
Yeah.
Where
A non-serious one.
I heard the tape. Everyone blew up by like, oh, he's gonna fucking kill her. And it's like, how many times have you said to someone like they're annoying you? You're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's what I first thought. Like my benefit of the doubt kicked in because I won't lie. Reading the article, it's almost like this can't be true kind of a situation. But then you got to push that to the side because you're like, well, it could be true. And like you said, they're accusations. If they're true, replace them. If they're not true, don't replace them. But I mean, also, I want to throw this out there. A custody battle is not an easy thing to go through, especially when two sides are divorced and they already hate each other. Because it sounds like in this situation,
they do
don't
not get
like
along.
each other. And it's like one doesn't want the other to see. In most cases that I've seen, not all cases, but most cases that I've seen, it's one party doesn't want the other party to see the kid, and the other party is like, I just want to see my kid.
Exactly.
I don't care if you see him. I just want to be able to see my kid. That's what I've experienced. But the one thing I wanted to shoehorn into this is about Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
Who we talked about. Reports were out there. Rumors were out there that she had been offered the role for Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye Disney Plus series.
Okay.
She has not. Remember during that segment, I kept saying there's no news that she has accepted it. We found out why.
Why?
Apparently, there is so she was also in, I'll read it right here. Variety caught up with Steinfeld at the NYC premiere of her Apple Plus series, Dickinson, which we mentioned on that podcast. But she didn't have any details to offer about the Hawkeye series and told the outlet that I don't know about. Their source have since told them Steinfeld and her reps have the Kate Bishop offer and no other actors have been approached about the role yet. However, it's believed the non-compete clause in her contract with Apple is responsible for the holdup in her Hawkeye deal. So apparently there's a non-compete clause in her Apple Plus deal, and that's holding up her from saying, yes, I want to be Kate Bishop.
So once that series is done...
Well, here's the thing. It says, while the Apple Plus streaming service doesn't go live until Friday, November 1st, the company is expected to renew most of its launch day series for a second season. They've got Dickinson and then the show C that has Jason Momoa in it. If so, both Dickinson Season 2 and Hawkeye Season 1 would probably go into production in 2020, though obviously not at the same time. If Steinfeld closes a deal to play Kate Bishop, and though her non-compete clause will complicate matters in the scenario, Steinfeld should have enough clout for her and her reps to find a way to work around that, as Variety noted in its report. I want to ask you, make a prediction. This is prediction time with Rick and Johnny. Do we see Kate Bishop being played by Haley Steinfeld, or will Apple be dicks and say, nope, no compete, you're with us?
I mean, if she only signed on for one season, with them, she could renegotiate her contract. Say, yeah, I'll come back on as my character, but I want that non-compete taken out I can play Kate Bishop.
There would be a renegotiation for Season 2, wouldn't there?
Because she doesn't have to just sign on unless she
unless she signed on for I'll sign on for 3 seasons.
Exactly.
I'll sign on for 2 seasons.
If she signed on just for the one season, just to see how it goes.
Yeah, but most season ones, they don't sign you for multiple seasons.
Because they don't know how it's going to go.
They go, let's see how it goes, and then, okay, we'll sign you for 3 more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I might have a feeling that they probably had her up for 1 season, and she can renegotiate, saying, I'll do Season 2 if you take away that non-compete and let me do Kate Bishop. Because don't tell me that that's not going to get her probably more than Apple.
Oh, by far. If you had me take a guess, and I have no numbers to back this.
Yeah.
I would put my money on Disney Plus selling way more service subscriptions
than Apple
Plus.
Exactly.
Or Apple TV or whatever the hell it's called.
Exactly.
What is it called? Yeah, it's Apple Plus. So same thing, Disney plus Apple Plus.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like
Very original names, guys.
I know she's already got her name out there,
Yeah.
but I feel like this, especially throwing her into the MCU, would put her name out there more than it would the other.
And that's the risk you run if you're Apple. Because there's a part of me that's like, hey man, buckle down. We're in a streaming war right now. You got to buckle down because if you can lock down Haley Steinfeld and take that away from Marvel, that could be a win. But at the same time, like you said, it ain't gonna be a win.
No.
It's kind of more of like, do you want to make a mountain out of this molehill, and do you want to die on this mountain?
Yeah,
like
because
that's the thing that's going. Because what's gonna happen is in my mind, if Apple doubles down, they may win and keep Haley Steinfeld. But guess what's gonna happen? It's not gonna drive in subscription numbers. Marvel's going to find someone else, and that actress is just skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Or number two is going to happen.
They might even get a no name.
Or number two is going to happen.
You might be thinking what I'm thinking for the number two.
They buckle down. Haley Steinfeld goes, flip the bird, leaves to go to Marvel, and now you got to recast Dickinson, the main character of your show, for season 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's close to what my thought was. It's basically like they say, no, we're not going to take out the no compete. Marvel gets wind of that and says, we won't put a no compete. You can do other stuff just as long as you play our Kate Bishop.
Marvel has,
and she signs out on Marvel, and
we haven't had that rumor at all, though, that Marvel hasn't had a no compete.
Exactly. I don't think they do no competes
because I'm trying to think. Aren't there?
Or maybe they do
been Marvel people that have been in DC stuff.
I think so.
Oh, the guy from
is supposed to have been.
Yeah, not just Drax, but like the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. He was also in Blood Diamond. I can't remember his name. He was the guy who at the beginning it's like, I'm Star-Lord? Who?
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
He was also in Shazam. He was the original Shazam. So it's like
the Wizard.
They really don't have. I mean, and that's an example of like Ricky. That was a lower character. It wasn't like Chris Evans.
But still, like Marvel probably has like a non-compete like part of like you can't do other films that would compete with ours while you're filming. Yeah, that's what I feel like. But because you see these characters go into other films like during their contracts. Because it's not like a. Yeah,
how many comedies have Chris Hemsworth done?
Exactly.
Hemsworth, right?
Hemsworth.
Did I say that right?
He did
Helmsworth?
Helmsworth.
I just say it wrong because
you with
that's
your
what I
fucking
usually
L's.
do. How many comedies has he done? Well, I mean, but that doesn't.
He was in the Ghostbusters. I'm pretty sure during his Thor times, his contracts.
Yeah, and he did one. He did one where I can't remember the name. Oh, the
Men in Black.
Vacation.
Family
because
Vacation.
They made the joke that he's got a huge dick.
MIB is with Sony, isn't it?
Yeah,
that would be a
or Universal.
I thought that was Sony. Maybe it is Universal, but either way, wouldn't that be a compete as well?
I mean, I guess.
I would think so. To some degree.
Let's see. I'm looking up.
Columbia. Columbia? Oh, wow.
That's what it says, but it could be. I thought it was Universal.
I thought it was one of the bigger ones like that. Yeah.
Give me the Wikipedia page.
Give me that wiki.
So its production company is Ambin Entertainment, distributed by Columbia Pictures. So it's a Columbia product.
Okay.
Or distributed by Columbia.
Well, either way, I would feel like a lot of those, since it's kind of in the same vein, it's sort of a compete, which I would feel like that would like I feel like Disney doesn't have a no compete.
Yeah. No, I don't think they do.
I'm pretty
either.
sure that if she gets like, hey, yeah, we don't do a no compete. You can do whatever you want on the side, just as long as you're.
She's going to be Kate Bishop one way or another. If Marvel wants her, Marvel's going to get her.
Marvel gets what Marvel wants.
Also, I would love if Apple just was like, nope, we're going to double down on it.
The mouse makes sure.
Fucking Disney and Marvel go, you want this Fox money? We got this Fox money. Basically, it's like, didn't you pay to get Fox? Yeah, but we made more money. It fell from the tree out back. You know that tree in the Animal Kingdom? It ain't just for that. There's also money falling off.
Money falls off that tree.
Those branches are just money falls down, and Mickey's got like the workers just shoveling money into like bags, and that's Disney World, folks. So don't tell your kids; you'll ruin the dream. But let us know, obviously, what you think down below in the comment section about the Jeremy Renner situation. I want to know your side. Is there anyone different than us that is on the side of yes, they should get rid of him? I want to know your thoughts. I also want to know everyone's thoughts. What are you guys thinking? And also the Haley Steinfeld thing. How do you think it's going to play out?
Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot it because it was a comment made earlier.
Go ahead.
About make Hawkeye deaf. You can always make him deaf.
You could have something because apparently the Hawkeye TV series is supposed to go into his backstory.
So I mean,
you could even have it to where something happened as he was Ronin, and now he's deaf.
Yeah,
I know that's not the exact same as him.
It's not the same, but deaf, I mean, to be honest,
but he's deaf.
You can make him deaf at that point.
Yeah,
I like you said, it's not the same as making.
How about this?
Huh?
How would you feel if the whole series he just goes like? They say something and like you don't know sign language and he does it and they're like, what? And he goes, yeah, I've been deaf the whole time. I've just been reading your lips.
Right?
Like they could do that. Like, hey, I've just been really skilled in reading lips and I've been reading your lips the whole time.
The only problem is, aren't there scenes where he's got the...
Oh, you're right. I mean, if you're trying to keep up a persona though and you're trying to lie to somebody and make them... Maybe he didn't think he'd get the S.H.I.E.L.D. job if they knew he was deaf. So he lied about it. It's an easy. I'm just saying it's an easy right around if you wanted to make this version of Hawkeye deaf.
I mean, you can. You won't be able to do like the backstory of him being deaf his whole life, but you can do a story of like he has an incident of some sort.
Where he becomes deaf.
Still goes deaf.
Let us know though what you guys are thinking down below about Jeremy Renner, about Haley Steinfeld. Let us know in that comment section.